Good morning, y'all. It's still morning. I mean, I've been up for a few hours now, so you know how that shit go. Good love to your body gets weak. Well, on my job right now, feel me? I had to buy a new, what is it called? A car holder. This shit right here, bought it for $5.88. Now, I had the other one, which was San Diego's, whatever, the Giants one, which could have lasted me for 20 years. But due to, you know, my circumstances with people stalking you and shit, lately I've been walking and that shit just been, it's literally detached. And it's literally just hanging off because I walk a lot. So the sweat itself is what is holding it on my chest. It's several times. And this morning, the same thing happened again where, you see this part right here? Like, it doesn't have the same problem. I'll show y'all niggas right now. I'll put it in my bag. Yeah, let's go through the whole scenario. I got time. Feel me? Show y'all niggas. Unnecessary purchases, you feel me? It didn't have to be that. See this part right? This is what I was using. San Diego Giants. I'm not a Giants fan, of course not. I'm a New York Giants fan, but not San Francisco. But look at this. See, that's what's supposed to hold it. See? Let's see. See, it doesn't come off easily. You literally have to, you know what I mean, do that. But lately, at work, that shit just falls right off. Yesterday, it fall off, and it was on the floor, and I had to pick it up. And I'm like, damn. Before that, it been happening a lot lately. Somebody keep trying to, like, you feel me? They want me to lose it and shit. So I'm like, you know what? It's been on my mind lately to get something that's a little more secure. You feel me? So they wouldn't use the excuse of this part right here coming off. You feel me? And today, it was just like this. It was basically just, I have it on the inside. Hold on, motherfucker. They just be hating. You know how they are. And when you catch them in the lie, they be like, motherfucker lying. I ain't gotta lie about this shit, nigga. I ain't ask you for money. See, it was just like this. I had it on the inside. So it was just like this. Let me show y'all niggas. So it was basically just hanging like that, but it wasn't even attached. And I'm like, I always attach my shit, you feel me? In order for that to come off, look at this. I had to do it. You had to hear the ch. So as I'm walking, that shit was just hanging by damn near thread. It was just hanging off my tank top, the sweat of my tank top. You see the tank top. It was basically just hanging off the sweat of the tank top itself. Then I'm like, that's crazy. It's crazy. Like, people don't even want, like, you know the whole history about my ID and everything else like that. Feel me? You know how that shit go. Cause I was working Rudolph's Food, and when I moved on from Rudolph's Food to UPS, the person wanted the ID back, but I'm like, I gave them a heads up that I wasn't coming back. So what's the point of wanting your ID back? I already destroyed it, you feel me? But they was like, they want you to come back to the place I'm like, they trying to convince you to do something. I'm like, yo, come on, y'all doing too much, man. Like I told y'all, like I'm departing ways, But it took it very personal because I decided to move on to another job. I mean, I appreciate the fact that they value me as a good employee and everything else like that. But they didn't have to make it personal when it came to the fact of the idea itself. So when I went to UPS, the same people, by the way, you know, Poppy and Mommy and shit, the UPS decided not to. But the people that worked there, they was giving me a very hard time, even just getting a regular ID, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Like, every day I had to come to the gate. Security had to come to the gate and get me an ID and let me in. While everybody else that I started with had an ID already. You feel me? So, long story short, I had to go see some lady. We're not even gonna mention what race she is. she put me into the computer and everything else like that. She was like, how come they didn't do this earlier? And I'm like, only you and I, only God knows. You feel me? So she did it for me, and she sent it in. But unfortunately, some odd reason, the next thing I know, another job was calling me. I guess they didn't want me to have the ID at all. The emphasis on the ID was like, it was like life and death for them. So another job called me with a better, more money and everything else like that. So I'm like, I had to make a decision. So I went straight to that job. Boom. When I got to that job, same people, the ID situation. Couldn't even get an ID to save my life. I had to. Sometimes I was waiting at the door, it's like just waiting. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, waiting for somebody to let me in. And every time I asked them, they gave me the runarounds. Oh, right now we going through something that we can't. I'm like, shit, crazy. Then I got to this job right here, and finally I got my ID. I'm not gonna show y'all niggas my ID because these niggas nosy. You feel me? The fun. Yeah, it should be. Yeah, finally I got my ID and everything else like that. Thank God I got it, you feel me? I didn't get all of it, of course, now, but I still got my ID to get into the building and clock in and clock out. So ever since then, I had to get the other tag that I showed you, because I realized since then my ID mistakenly been walking. Like literally, the nigga been wanting to walk away. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Ever since then, they been trying to steal my ID. Let it pass by. Every time you tell the truth, you know what happened. So ever since then, I know when I tell these things, they're gonna try their way to come at me now because I said something about it. But it's true. They want you to be dumb and act like you don't know what's going on, so they can covertly come at you secretly. But once you expose them like that, they be like, oh, well, he know now. Well, what is up? Well, we gonna do whatever we gonna throw at him. Like, calm down, man. You gotta play a better game. Anyway, so now that I find this building, you can't get into the building because, you know, security and everything else is it's a security threat just to have any and anybody, you feel me, without an ID enter into the building and everything else like that. Because, you know, anyway, so I got the ID, but literally this ID been walking. Like, then I got the other badge, then all of a sudden the badge start coming off my neck. Literally, it's just like it been hanging by a thread. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. So I had to get another bag. I got two I got this one, another one, just in case, man. You know how that shit go, man. Shit be crazy. But that's my morning, though. I didn't even get nothing to eat. I just decided to take this first. You feel me? That's why I said unnecessary purchase, because I had a badge that can last me for a long time, but because of the detachment of it, you feel me? I had to be secure. Sometimes you gotta be, instead of being cheap, you gotta secure. Like, you gotta have a foresight, you feel me? Now I know people out there gonna be like, oh, he's just purchasing things just to, it's okay, let them talk, you feel me? Because if you buy food, they complain. If you buy a badge, they complain, so let them talk. You gotta have a foresight. What will happen if I lose, you feel me? You have to go through a whole lot of problems. You gotta do this, then you gotta pay extra money. The money that I'm paying right now to security, I'll have to pay 2 times that amount of money. Plus, you gotta wait for it to come, and it interferes with your shit. So sometimes you gotta have a foresight to see what's going to come before it happens. You feel me? And I'm like, you know what? Instead of just being cheap and acting like, yo, well, every time it comes, I'm gonna constantly be walking around checking my, like, oh, okay, let me see if it didn't fall off. Let me see if it didn't. You feel me? I'm like, you know what? Let me just buy something, just put on your shit like that. And that's it. I mean, ain't no falling off, none of that. Well, then again, you never know, because ever since I said that, they gonna try their very best. You know how that shit go. These are the things that we gotta deal with. When you're dealing with an enemy, these are the things that you gotta deal with. Anyway, I got 20 minutes with y'all. What y'all want to talk about? What they talk about? Oh, let's talk about what I was talking about. I got 10 minutes into the talking. Now I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna come out and come back in.